you realize that we had our last AGM in October 2021, and therefore it's really less than a year since we had the AGM. But because we need to do returns, we realized that we need to go back to our calendar. Ideally, we should have our AGM by June. So there are many issues that were happening last year, and so we pushed the AGM to October, the elections actually to November, but we want to take back the calendar to where it should be. So you might know that we don't have much to say because we just had one a couple of months ago, but really that's the reason behind. Also, before I go on to my very brief presentation, I want to note that we've really grown. We are at an all-time high in terms of membership, which means that the AMWIK brand out there is growing strong. And so, you know, when you are growing strong, we've had the number of members. Is this 236 or 236?
Yeah.
Yes. So that means
from 106.
From 106, yes. It's been a while since we have been this many. And that means that our brand is growing, and as women out there in the media, we are having this thirst for an affiliation and to where we can harness our skills. And therefore, for those new members who joined, who've never been members of AMWIK, karibuni sana. For the older ones, they will tell you, including myself, it's always very hard to leave AMWIK. You come, you feel like you've nested. And when you come, also know that there's a lot expected from you, as we've maybe heard from the ED's opening remarks. So welcome to the fold. Let's push forward. Let's grow AMWIK. We've been there for long. Our founders must be feeling very proud of us that those who have been called to hold forth, we are still holding forth. When I see people like Rose Lucaro seated right behind me, Tobista and others, like Pamela, Buria, amongst others, we are so proud of you, and we are glad that we've been able to continue moving forward and forging forward despite many challenges, but one by one we have been able to surmount them. And many organizations actually have been coming to me, and I'm sure even the ED, probably even some of you are asking, wow, how does AMWIK, manage to keep up, with all the financial, challenges, resource mobilization, the very unfriendly environment, in terms of the space for CSOs, which has really gone, down, donor funding, but it's by the grace of God, but also that sisterhood and that even prayers and holding hands, as members, that sheer determination to ensure that we still remain relevant within the industry is really commendable. So what I'm saying is that as we grow, higher expectations for us, and therefore we need to also look at where else can we find more space to thrive. And let me tell you, the opportunities are there for us to explore. Going to also the issue of putting in structures. An organization is as strong as its structures. And I must appreciate that as AMWIK, we've been able to consolidate, we've been able to still continue enhancing our structures, like it was mentioned, ensuring that we have a constitution which guides how we engage, as members with the organization, with one another. We have the board policy that also guides how, as board members, we operate, so that we are doing things, legally and constitutionally. We have the strategic plan, as mentioned, 2021-2026, that gives the vision and mission of the organization. And I hope that as members, we are also have acquitted ourselves with it. And internally, we are still strengthening our internal structures, policies, because in this world, you are also gauged by your internal policies and the extent to which that you are adhering to them. So as an organization, I know we have the HR policy, the finance manual, the data protection, and others that are in the works. And some of them actually need to be reviewed so that they are relevant and speak to the challenges of the day. So we as a board, given that two members gave us that mandate, we are looking at what needs to be revised and what needs to be added to the existing policies. These days I had the issue of social safeguards. There is the issue of protection of witness. We call them those whistleblowers. So some of those things are still very important for us. And I remember when I was the ED of AMWIK and Rose Lucaro was the chair of the board. Some of those are the things that Rose, you would really press hard and help us work through. And I'm also aware that some of these policies have also been involved in their revision. So we'll still call upon some of the members who have the requisite skills to help us with these policies. So I'm going to the project, but looking forward, I'm quite hopeful that there shall be a revival. I'm really optimistic, and because I'm not going to speak to politics, but really, there should be, I'm seeing us coming back, because we need a strong civil society sector that can also, hold the government to account, and ensure that whatever systems the duty bearers are doing what they're supposed to do for the nation. Respect of women's rights, human rights. So we need a vibrance here. So hoping that with that, we'll also see a refocus by our donors, to start re-engaging with the civil society in Kenya. Of course, we appreciate that because of COVID and what's happening internationally, the war, even in Ukraine and Russia and other economic downsides being experienced. Of course, even for the donors, the one out there is that there's also still a drop in their financing. So when we hope that there is improvement in the world economy, because we also know it has great impact on us as an organization and of course nationally and globally. Done so much on sexual harassment and GBV. I still feel that there are quite other opportunities out there that we can also really, become vocal, become strong, our voice is heard in the area of women and leadership and politics. When we are living in a time whereby every political party and player wants to show that they are becoming gender inclusive. And so that presents an opportunity for us, even as AMWIK, to position ourselves and see who are these women, can we influence those who are being appointed within the political parties, but even in other sectors by whichever government comes on board. So we will need to still exploit that area. Let's also add our voice in economic empowerment for women. I know we're doing something, but we can upscale. So these are some of the areas I see as opportunities for us as an organization, so that we can fulfill our vision of having a gender-responsive society that embraces and promotes equitable development and women's rights. So I know. Lastly, and I'm doing this deliberately, I should have started by introducing myself. So I'll do it unconventionally and just say that, of course, from what you've seen, I'm from the schedule. I'm Jane Thuo. I wear many hats, and I'm a very proud AMWIK member since 2003. I've served in many capacities, even within the organization, from a fundraising officer, then a programs manager with AMWIK, and then as the ED of AMWIK. I've also been the vice chair of the board that just resigned in 2000, and not resigned actually, whose term ended in 2000 and last year, and now I'm the chair. And apart from that, I can say that I am a lecturer at the University of Nairobi School of Journalism, and I'm a development communication specialist, consulting on many projects. And so those are some of the hats I wear. Let me say that the more you appear to rise higher, the more you are humbled and you realize that there's still so much to achieve. And as much as I may want to be proud of where I am so far, it's also a very humbling experience, just to know that there's still so much to be achieved out there. I am a mentor. I actually head the mentorship project and program at the school of, we are calling ourselves Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And I've been a mentor with IWA in a project that was funded by US Embassy. So I'm saying that so that if you are looking for a mentor, I still have time to mentor anyone who is available and willing to have me as a mentor. So I think let me stop at that, and I appreciate members for your support, and together we will go quite far. So God bless you.